Climbing back upon Mount Soapbox for another rant. Today we're going back to GTA Online to discuss some things I think should either be tweaked or nerfed or completely removed from GTA Online. By the way, about a week ago, I did a poll in my YouTube community tab asking the question, if Rockstar decided to remove one thing from GTA Online, what would you want it to be? By the way, we got over 400 votes. Thank you so much for everybody that casted your vote. At first place with 67% of the vote, this was a surprise to me, the Oppressor Mark II Broomstick got 67%. Second place was the Orbital Cannon at 22%, Other at 7%, and tied for last place at 2% each, Ghost Organization and Explosive Ammo. And before we go any further up Mount Soapbox, I want to read over some of your comments that you left in the poll. Yangi says the Oppressor is good for transport and can be countered. I'd remove the flares from it and chunk the Orbital Cannon completely. That exists purely for unavoidable griefing. Henry says the Mark II isn't the problem. Griefers are all Rockstar needs to do is remove the lock-on players with it and the Orbital Cannon there, problem solved. John says, I choose Other for the fact that KD farmers are creating inescapable pits of death. Purge the creator mode of these awful jobs. I don't have a problem with these items, but I do have an issue with free roam in which these are being used in. Gladiator says, I like the Oppressor Mark II for money grind. Rockstar can remove its weapons, but not the entire vehicle. John Steve says, tough call between the Broomstick and the Orbital Cannon. Both are bad for the game. But I voted Broomstick because there are more players getting griefed by the Broomstick than the Orbital Cannon. Yuli says she wants all those things removed. And finally, Ram King says, I'd at least want them to remove the missiles from the Broomstick. That way you could get to places faster. Once again, thanks to everybody that took the time to cast a vote and leave a comment in my community tab regarding this specific issue. So first off, I want to talk about things that are, I guess, revolved around griefer toys, tools in GTA Online that should simply be nerfed, fixed, or just reworked. First off, even though the Broomstick, aka the Oppressor Mark II, was easily at the top of the poll, 66-67% of the poll, I don't think it needs to be removed. In fact, a couple years ago, Riley and I did the collab video talking about our ideas on how the Broomstick could be tweaked, nerfed, reworked. Feel free and check out that video if you get a chance. Now, when it comes to the Ghost Organization as well as Explosive Ammo, I'm sure there's ways that Rockstar could rework those as well. But then again, if you look at the poll, both of those were at 2%. So even though they are tools that griefers like to use, they're not exactly at the top of the list of issues in GTA Online. So at the end of the day, they're probably not going to do anything about Ghost Org or Explosive Ammo. Now, regarding the Submarine, which I did not mention, but it has been unfortunately used as griefers, not as badly as another thing we're going to talk about in a moment, but the Submarine, what players like to do is they'll park their submarine next to their yacht, and then they'll put on the defense mode for the yacht, and that will prevent players from attacking the submarine. Even though it's not foolproof, some players are clever enough can destroy the submarine, and griefers will use the missiles from the submarine to go after other players and kill them in lobbies. There's a difference though. It takes a little bit of skill to guide the missile because you have to do it manually, and there's a limited range when it comes to the missiles compared to the one item in GTA Online that is nothing but a griefer toy that should absolutely be removed and should have never been added to GTA Online. I said this years ago in a previous rant for the griefers' ultimate weapon, the Orbital Cannon. Rockstar, why do you put this weapon in the game is beyond me. I realize that it's expensive to get, like what, $900,000 as we mentioned a moment ago, plus it's like a one shot. So $500,000 per shot, and then for a targeted shot it's $750,000. And logically you would think that most people would not spend the money on the Orbital Cannon or, pay the additional money for the quote-unquote shot. But there are a lot of people out there with modded accounts with billions of dollars, and $500,000 a shot is peanuts to them. So yes, this is the griefer's ultimate weapon in free mode, and it's unfortunate that this is a thing in Grand Theft Auto Online. This thing has always been used to grief other players. Now, there was a time when Rockstar worked it to where players could only use it maybe once every now and then, which is bad enough, but still somewhat tolerable. Unfortunately, over the years, there's been issues and problems with it, despite Rockstar trying to fix it over and over again, nerfing it, reworking it, sometimes unintentionally rebuffing it. It's still extremely problematic in GTA Online. Now, credit to my good friend Red. He mentioned this, the save wizard. I don't know exactly what that is, but it allows the griefers to take advantage and exploit the orbital cannon in order to orb spam players over and over and over again. This is getting out of hand. It's getting worse and worse in GTA Online with each passing week. I know that the majority of the people that casted their vote in my poll are probably unaware of this, but if they were, I get the feeling that the orbital cannon would be a lot closer in the polls to the broomstick when it comes to the one item that players think should be removed, because the orbital cannon is a serious problem. I can understand the broomstick being used by some as simply for traversing the map and grinding purposes, but at the same time, there's only one reason why players have the orbital cannon, and that is to kill other players from a very safe space, i.e. their facility. It's very cowardly. At least with PvP players and tryhards, I can respect them getting out there in the game, going up against their opponent. But when it comes to those that orb spam, they are absolute cowards. They do it from the safety and convenience of their facility, with no risk or harm to themselves. So, the other culprit when it comes to this specific issue, the reason why it can be so easily manipulated and exploited, not just through Save Wizard, but also through the peer-to-peer system itself. And despite the fact that Rockstar and Take-Two have made billions with a B of dollars off of GTA 5, GTA Online, they still have yet to invest in dedicated servers for GTA Online or Red Dead Online, when a lot of other developers for their online games already have gotten themselves dedicated servers for their fan bases because it runs smoother, it's more secure for both the player as well as the developer, and it allows them to have better control over their game with dedicated servers as opposed to the peer-to-peer system. In other words, it just shows you how cheap Take-Two and Rockstar are, deciding to stick with a peer-to-peer system instead of investing time and money and resources and hiring people to build their own dedicated server farms. The solution to the orbital cannon is simple, Rockstar. Remove the orbital cannon from GTA Online and reimburse all players that purchase the orbital cannon with $900,000. Just give them $900,000 here, there. You do it all the time for login rewards, like especially with PlayStation Plus. You give players on PlayStation Plus $1 million a month. So just give everybody back their $900,000 and lock the orbital cannon to only the Doomsday Heist, remove it from online, call it a day, because you've tried to rework it, you tried to fix it, you've tried to nerf it to no avail. It is only used for one purpose, to grief other players in GTA Online by the cowards that choose to hide in their facilities. It serves no other purpose and should be removed from online. Remove it, reimburse the community, and call it a day. By doing this one thing, Rockstar, by removing the orbital cannon, you will make Grand Theft Auto Online, especially in the public lobbies, a better place. And the only group that's going to cry about that are the orb spammers. They're the only ones that will complain and bitch and moan and whine and scream about their precious orbital cannon being yeeted. Well, guess what? Too bad. So, if you also would like to see the orbital cannon removed, feel free, click on the feedback link below in the description section. Let Rockstar know that you too want to see the orbital cannon gone, removed, out of here. I realize GTA Online is revolved around criminals. We're not exactly the good guys or the good girls, And there's players in online games that love to PvP. And there's also tryhards. Okay, I did a rant about that a while back. And maybe I compared tryhards to griefers. Admittedly, I didn't really know that there was a difference at the time. I do now. At least with the tryhards, they're actually out there in the public lobby fighting other players instead of hiding safe and sound in a facility, aka a safe space. Obviously, there's a difference. If, hypothetically, somebody at Rockstar is actually listening, I hope that you will take my suggestions and move them up the ladder. If you want to take credit for it, fine. Do so. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care if another YouTuber makes a similar video like The Professional. I'm sure he has already. And he does a petition and that petition goes viral and it leads to the orbital cannon being removed. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. I'm cool, Professional, and all the other content creators that cover GTA Online and Red Dead Online. I just want the orbital cannon gone. I just want the broomstick nerfed and fixed and tweaked and made a little bit more balanced to where you could actually take it on with a fighter jet and an attack helicopter. It just makes sense. But regarding the orbital cannon, yeah, that thing needs to be gone. Like yesterday. No, like before the day they decided to put the OC into GTA Online. It should have never been added. Once the orbital cannon is gone, GTA Online in public lobbies will be a little bit better place. And if the orb spammers don't like it, well, I think I have a violin around here somewhere. No? Okay, well, anyways, orb spammers, I don't really care. Fun fact, orb spammers, the majority of the GT Online community may disagree on things. We may have our drama, our issues, but most of us can agree that we really don't like any of you. As far as we care, the orb spammers can go get orbed.